নমস্কার, আমি সৌরদীপ। আপনারা দেখছেন ইন্ডিয়া অনলাইন নিউজ। চলে এলাম আর একটি নতুন খবর নিয়ে আপনাদের সামনে।
Beauty of it is that out of the 10 crore Ujjwala connections which have been given, 8 crores are in rural areas. When the Honorable Prime Minister went for the consecration of Lord Ram, he went to the house of a particular lady, Meera Manji, if I remember correctly. He went to her house. She's a beneficiary of the Ujjwala. She got it a few days earlier. She's also a beneficiary of the other scheme. These are the people benefiting. So I want to come back to this comparison. I want to go away from this. I want to come now to, I'll skip the BPC, I'll come back to it later. Let's look at the charts on what the government was earlier and what it is today. The government of between 2004 and 14 could roughly be described. You know, all these things you've known are success in the Asian Games, the first country to land on the south pole of the moon, Chandrayaan third mission, indigenous vaccine, indigenous startups. I will take that because you are all very familiar with it. I want to come to the overall this thing, you know, the policy paralysis which took place earlier. The economy by the rest of the world was described as being part of the famous Fragile Five. Now, I know I have a friend who's written books on, doesn't get its act together where India will, in fact, there'll be more focus on India. I have this Fragile Five, top 5 journey, epochal, forex reserves. I think that's a very good thing to look at. It from $270 billion to $600 billion. Inflation, current account deficit from 5.1% down to 2%. Environmental approval. But I want to show that chart which shows which project was started when and approved when. And I think therein lies a story. These are, I think, most of these are well documented. And the women-led development I want to say something on. You know, most of my adult life, if I may say so, I've had the privilege of dealing with issues relating to SDG 5, women's empowerment, etc. Partly because I have a strong feminist at home, but more than that, I think in the last 7 years that I have been a minister, all of Modi ji's programs have a women-centered focus. Let me explain to you. When you build a shauchalaya or a toilet, where does it start? It starts by providing dignity to the girl child. Then you go to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Who are the title holders? It has to be women. The law very clearly says either women or co-jointly. So I did an analysis. Domestic differences or discord, it's very important that it be known that the title of the house is the name of the lady of the house, and I think a sobering effect will take place. Now you go there, these are all women-centered development schemes, but you've gone from there to women-led development. The reservation of 33.3% seats in the legislature, in the central parliament, which will come as soon as the census is ready, now hopefully very soon, then the delimitation, then from 2026 or 27, you can begin to implement it. And my experience as a professional diplomat studying other societies is that wherever you've had women-led development, the GDP has invariably gone up from 20 to 30%. That's a global experience. So I think those of us who are, there are some misgivings ki the male of the species will have their seats taken. Not at all. These are additional seats. So I don't think any of our guys who are worrying about losing their seat, there'll be a delimitation, there'll be a re-exercise of constituencies. And wherever I go, not in groups like this, but I always ask all my interlocutors there, I said, aap mein se election kitna ladna chahte hain? Tell you, most of the members there, whether it's a panchayat or a semi-rural area or this rural or all of them raise their hand. That is a good sign. That there is consciousness and that the government is driving that kind of message down to the people that, you know, they are not only equal participants, but acknowledged to be even more participants, even more important participants in the system which is growing.